up, everybody? Welcome to Non-Fungible Guys. This is a podcast about the NFT. Wait, the NFT? There it is. This is a podcast about NFTs, the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and everything in between. I'm one of your hosts, Devon C. Codrington, also known as Devon C. Codrington on Twitter, also known as Interstellar on Discord. I'm joined by my trusty co-host,
NFG Ryan. What's going on, everyone?
NFG Ryan, what is up? Today, this is exciting. I mean, every episode is my favorite episode. The one that we're doing is my favorite, but this one is really, really my favorite. So we've got a really exciting guest here today, Charli Cohen. Charli Cohen has gone from supply chain to blockchain. Hey,
love that. Well played.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good podcast. I thought of that in the wee hours of the morning, and I was just like, how have I not seen this anywhere? It makes sense. Okay. If you're a first-time listener, each intro is butchered, and I think this is one of the better ones we've done. The reason Charli's gone from supply chain to blockchain is because at 15, she founded a clothing brand, fashion brand, and then when she wasn't sailing on a boat to New Zealand or whatnot for 2 years, while doing that and while being in school, was like, oh, I'm actually going to do this and get a fashion degree, when most people are like, I want to be a fashion designer, and then they end up working at Walmart or whatever, or maybe for you guys like a Selfridge or whatever your corner shop is called, and then does a whole bunch of NFT stuff, makes Rstlss, is leading the charge in gaming. There's collaborations with small egg-like characters, there's anime certain things, there's designing clothing for artists, some of which I love. And I don't know, we're just really excited. There's also going to be like Web3 and NFT stuff and blockchain stuff we talk about. Maybe. We'll see where we get today. So anyways, Charli, welcome. Hello. Thank you
so much for having me. That was an incredible intro. Also, like the amount of detail there, I feel like I've talked just way too much about my background and my childhood at this point, that it now just comes out in the intros when I'm on a podcast.
That's true. It's out there. It's pretty interesting, though. Really interesting.
For sure.
So where do we want to start, Ryan?
I don't know. We can go anywhere.
We've got a bunch of questions.
I was going to say, like, we start with our basic one, but you kind of just did everything. But who is Charli Cohen? Who are you?
Oh, I mean, great question. Ever evolving, I would say. I named a brand after myself, which is an extension of me. So I feel like I put a lot of myself out there all the time. So yeah, the Charli Cohen brand is just my inner workings through the medium of fashion. But yeah, who am I? That's kind of a big question. I guess first and foremost, like a builder, because that's the thing that sort of tied everything that I've done together. I like building companies. So like I am a designer, I am a musician, I am a CEO, I am like wearing whatever like executive hat in any given business that I've founded. But yeah, fundamentally I like creating and building shit.
I like that you said a builder. I almost expected to hear the word creator, founder, entrepreneur, which are all things that you are as well. But like, I like that you said builder, because that's like the connection to like the Web3. Like everyone's like talking about where we are right now. This is where builders prevail. And this is, if you're here for the long haul, you're building. All right. My next question is, do you like Crocs?
So I do like Crocs, and it's been kind of a journey for me.
I love how she just answered this like if it's the most serious question, and she's like, I've
it's
been
an extremely serious
for a
question.
while.
Like, yeah, no, I have been thinking about this for a while. I have written a dissertation though. Yeah, like I think I started wearing them ironically, and now I wear them non-ironically. That's what we've got to. Would love to collaborate with Crocs.
Awesome. Nice. That's like me and Uggs. I hated them. I hated the name, and then my wife started wearing them, and I'm like, I guess they're not that bad. I still haven't worn them though, but
sometimes these things happen, and it's I mean, to be fair, they have done an incredible job of marketing and rebranding and just being part of actual fashion. I guess in the Uggs as well, Birkenstock. But I think like Crocs, especially, it's ridiculous how they've managed to just like push themselves into there. But
no, I agree.
I'm a fan.
I've always hated them, and actually no one in my family wears them, but the more I see them, especially when they take the little strap and flip it backwards so it's around the heel, and I'm just like,
that's speed boost, as my daughter says. That's turbo mode. That's where you
turbo mode. That's when you're going to be running.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Exactly. Yeah, I see that, and I'm kind of like, they're stupid, and I want to be a part of that. But I've publicly said I hate them so much that this is probably the first like reversal on that. You heard it here first.
I mean, I'm really honored that you could come out on the show that I'm on.
Yeah. I saved that.
Thank you.
Also, I don't even know if you've had a relationship with Crocs. I was just thinking about things that I think about, and I was like, I wonder how she feels about Crocs. Like, I have no idea if there's any further,
Well, now I know what to get you for your birthday. It's coming up soon in like a couple of weeks.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I'm not actually opposed to this. I will never buy myself. My favorite color is orange. Okay, let's talk about something else. All right, Ryan, you queue up the next question.
I don't even know where to go. There's so many
I went to the bottom of the list. So
what bottom of the list? Oh, you went all the way down there. Yeah, we have so many show notes. I mean, we could go so many different I mean, talk about being a fashion designer at 15. I love that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to use this episode and I'm going to share it. I have a 17-year-old, so I'm going to share it with her and be like, look, this is where you could be. Fashion designer at 15. Listen to this.
No big deal.
She doesn't listen to any of my podcasts. I'm like, you're going to listen to this one. This one will inspire you.
Yes.
Pretty good,
I mean, like, to be fair, like there's a lot of stuff that I should have also experienced as a teenager that I missed out on because I decided to go into business like possibly too early as well. So, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, I had the the kid, I want to be a fashion designer dream. Used to draw clothes a lot, was really into, I guess from my teenage years, like 10, 11, 12, was really into like customizing all of the stuff in my wardrobe and just really trying to refine my personal style, which was very of the time, early noughties. And so I guess from there, you mentioned the sailing trip. So that meant that when we'd be at sea for weeks, I had a lot of time to not just like be drawing stuff, but kind of planning what my life would look like when I was back in a more normal setting, I guess. And part of that was figuring out this brand I wanted to start. I had a pretty good sense that, there was a lot to running a fashion brand that went beyond designing, and I just wanted to experience what all that was firsthand. And as soon as we got to New Zealand, I started throwing myself into it and figured out. I started out by selling these customized t-shirts to local stores, and then started building out, I guess, more complex collections from there. Learn how to set up a supply chain, do wholesale, fill out a tax return, marketing, all the things. And it set me up really well for starting my fashion degree, which was really there for me to actually refine my my style and my aesthetic as a designer. But I had this really great grounding in business. And then I used my fashion degree to build the proper brand, having done my 3 or 4 year practice run. And yeah, I think I learned so much more doing that than I could ever have done on a, I guess, more traditional fashion internship.
Amazing. Awesome. So what I took from that is that Emma needs to learn to sail.
That's how you start. Yeah. So anybody that wants to be a fashion designer, it's fundamental that you do at least half a circumnavigation first.
Okay, I'll get started on planning how to get that boat and sit.
Yeah,
sailboat, I should say.
Yeah,
that is your responsibility as a father. If you're going to set her up well.
All right.
That's your responsibility.
Hopefully, I can turn some crypto gains into a. We'll go yacht. I'll go yacht. Yeah, I'll go yacht.
We'll go
big right away.
That happened at the same time. That's great. Yeah. I love it. Okay. Let's talk about, you know what? We're talking about fashion and stuff. I have a really basic question. It's going to be embarrassing, but what does a fashion designer do? I know it's simple, but I don't feel like I have ever had this opportunity to ask a fashion person. I don't even know what to call you. This question, and I want to hear from you how you describe it. What's a fashion designer do?
So I guess there are lots of different parts of the process. And you usually go into either the more like creative director side or you go into the technical designer
Okay.
side. So as a creative director, it's about like coming up with the concept and the vibe for a collection and the overall silhouettes, the inspiration, the styling. And then on the technical side, it's like really drilling down into the details. How is this actually a functional garment? Because, you know, it's product design. It's different to art. You actually have to make it, you have to be able to get into it and then be able to
Right.
move in it.
Right.
So figuring that out and then figuring out how to cut the patterns and construct it so that it fulfills the creative vision. So those are really the two parts to it. And anybody starting out generally will be doing both pieces. And then as you go into industry, if you're working in a larger company, you will either specialize in the technical design or in the creative, usually.
Okay. That does make a lot of sense to me. My mom is a seamstress. She's done like everything and anything. Like actually in my house, in my parents' house, there is like the garage has three like Juki machines that are like the table ones. Like there's sergers, there's like blind stitch things. Like, you know, she's and I think she also has and these sewing machines, these are Ryan, for those that you don't know about this world.
Yeah.
Let me just let
Teach
you
me,
know
buddy.
what's
Teach me.
like. There's like a foot pedal operated, and then like the thing is the size of my desk. You know the massive desk I have, and the
Like
sewing
a big
machine
wheel, right?
and
You
it's
keep
in.
pushing on the
Well,
wheel.
no, the wheel's smaller now, and sometimes you hand advance it if you need to mess with.
I like that you're like envisioning like a 1920s sewing machine.
I am. Pretty. Yeah, he's like, yeah. I'm trying to describe
The
the
big
modern
wheel,
version.
right? That's what it
He's
is.
like, and then
Wood.
you
It's
prick
like, do
your
we not
finger.
use looms anymore?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, there's like actual silkworms. But you know, and then it's like a whole table thing, and it like the motor in it. It was impressive. You know, I like motorcycles and stuff. The motors is like, it's like it's
Yeah, the
intense.
industrial machines are like
Yeah.
beasts. That
So
it's
my
really
mom,
intimidating when you first start learning how to use one of
yeah,
those
it's
after going from
crazy.
like a domestic sewing machine.
I imagine you first time you like hit the gas or I don't know the pedal or whatever, and it just
They
like
go so
and
fast.
the needle's just like and you're like whoa. And my mother would always be like, "Don't touch this."
Yeah.
And you know, what she did once was she go to like Fabricland. That's the equivalent of like Joanne Fabrics for us over
Yeah.
here. I was actually at Fabricland yesterday. Huh. Anyways,
They have Fabricland here in the
really?
UK.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh,
I
okay.
don't, I don't know. I don't know if it's probably not even the same
What
franchise,
color is
but
the logo? Is it
um
red? Is it like
I actually can't visualize it.
I'll
I'll have to look it
Google
up
it. Because
afterwards.
she's like I don't go to the stores, Devon. Like I just talked to Fabricland HQ and they just sent it to my flat. You know. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, so my mom would be like, you know, buying these like jeans like levels needles. She'd be like, look at this. I'd be like, holy crap. Okay. Anyways, what brand? What brand?
It's
So
yellow and blue, Devon. The
yellow and
logo
blue.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's different. We're like red or it's like orange or it's like
Same stuff though.
same style though.
Yeah.
Fabric.
It's basically it's fabric.
It's fabric and
Yeah.
buttons. Okay. But anyways, okay, what's your is Juki like really the best? Are you allowed to say that? Do you have like a sewing machine and brand thing?
I trying to think because I haven't used an industrial machine for such a long time. I have like a domestic machine that I like. I
Like
mean,
a
I
Singer
just
or
don't
something?
sew anymore. I really don't enjoy sewing, and like I massively respect anybody that has the patience for it. But the machines that I used to like as domestic machine of Bonina.
Oh, I don't even know that one. I'm gonna Google that. Mom, I'm sorry. All right.
Step your game up, Mom.
I know, right?
See
Come
what
on,
see
Mom.
what
What the
mum see
hell?
what mum thinks. See what mum
Actually,
thinks.
my mom made the pants that I'm wearing right now. Like
He's
they're
gonna
Like,
do a little
brand-
twirl.
I
oh,
can't. I
these are
can't even.
sick.
They're like some sort of track. They got deep pockets and stuff. Thanks, Mom. Elastic waist.
For the people that can't see, Devon's just standing up, and because he's camouflage pants, you can't see him anyway.
Yeah, they got nice wide bell bottom like thing. You know, they're really good for the home. Anyways, okay. Charlie's probably like, I came on this podcast to talk about NFTs, crypto. Like,
Yeah,
like,
Web3
it's so
podcast.
nice. It's so
my
refreshing to
projects.
not talk about NFTs. I mean,
And she's
God,
just
don't we
like,
talk about that all the time?
we're
Listen,
just
we
talking
like to
about
strive
sewing machines.
on this podcast that it's like we're just sitting having a cup of tea. That,
What?
see, and she picked up her tea.
How did you know?
It's just I don't know. We're just two lads talking to a
Oh my
gal
God.
Oh my God, that
over a
was
cup of tea.
so organic.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was.
awesome.
It's like perfect.
Ryan, did you say a cup of tea as opposed to a cup of beer? Because that's, or
Glass of
you
beer.
usually say a pint.
We usually say we're sitting in
Cup
a
of beer.
bar, yeah. But I
Yeah.
said tea because she's in the UK, and
yeah.
It was a
that's
great
what they
call.
drink.
It is what we drink. It's the only thing we drink.
Right.
Bravo. I'm very happy. That was great.
Do what I can.
All right, Ryan, I'll let you steer the conversation because clearly it goes off the rails with me.
Well, I always end up steering it back to Web3, but I know you like to go all over the place because you're a you're a content creator. You film stuff, and
That's why you're a great
I don't
team.
think our listeners know that you film stuff. It's just mentioned every episode. But how did you get into the Web3 space? Did you start with crypto or dabbled in that, or did you just go right to I'm doing digital assets?
Yeah, I came in through the tech. So obviously had like an awareness of DeFi, but wasn't really involved in it. And so through the Charli Cohen brand, we just started progressively working more and more with like immersive tech, AR and VR, more and more with the gaming industry. And I was trying to figure out interoperability, and I went down the NFT rabbit hole. It seemed like a viable tech solution.
Yep.
And then I found the NFT community and, all of these people who wanted to change all of these different antiquated industries, whether it's finance or creative industry. And it just resonated with me so much that decided to just throw myself all into that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Where did you start? Was it Ethereum? Was it Bitcoin? Like,
So Ethereum.
Yeah.
And really, at that time, so I guess it was 2020 that started figuring out how to kind of implement this new tech into what we were doing. And Ethereum made sense then as the blockchain where there was an application layer, and also a store of value for digital assets. And it's still the best store of value for digital assets.
That's awesome. Do you you're mainly on Ethereum? Do you have any plans to go cross chain at all?
Yes, definitely. And I think I'm not a maxi in any sense. We will always push into whatever chain makes the most sense for what we're doing. And over time, there are going to be chains that make a ton more sense for gaming and interop, I imagine, that will be built. We've done a lot of testing on different layer 2s as well. So for now, Ethereum makes the most sense. But yeah, the idea is to be as interoperable as possible. So that definitely means becoming progressively cross-chain.
I like that. I like that you're not a maxi. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Ethereum. I mean, that's where the money is. It's where the people are right now. But everyone is starting to, especially with the way gas fees have been, they're starting to kind of look everywhere else. We're shills for Cardano, Remark, Kusama. Like we don't stay to one blockchain. We kind of try and learn about everything. So I think this is only our 4th or 5th interview with an Ethereum project, because it's just such a vast, so many projects, right? So it's hard to kind of get for ourselves to get into the space and kind of interview. But it's so I'm really appreciative, because this is just like exposure for us for more of the Ethereum crowd as well.
Yeah,
so,
just because also like the show, like you see how we kind of run the show. We're goofballs that love talking, and if we just wanted to talk about our favorite food and movies and dabble in the blockchain, we would. We kind of run things as we do, and the Cardano community that we found was just very, very much tight community. And in Ethereum, it was just a little bit of a different setup. But I do find that, I guess, with Polygon, I think Ethereum just has different pockets, and we've kind of just like gone to projects that gravitated to us, which is like left us going to Kusama and different chains. But Polygon is getting a lot of attention just because of, like Brian mentions, the gas fees and all that.
Oh, 100%.
So, there's like, it's just not possible. That layer 2 is really powerful. And I think people are starting to realize that. And the world, fiat and the DeFi world, they matter, right? So I think even with the tighter pockets worldwide, everyone's kind of thinking, okay, what's sustainable here? Anyways, my next question, I guess, is how do you spell Rstlss?
So without vowels, because this is Web3. So
That's a cool thing to do, right?
Rstlss is compulsory.
It's awesome.
What's even better?
Now that I look at it, in my show notes, I spelled it wrong. Because I added an E, and I was like, "Oh, you idiot!" That's.
I was literally going to call you.
Don't ever do that.
You can't spell it right.
How dare you?
Web2.
I'm sorry. I know, right? What is Rstlss?
So Rstlss is it's ultimately a platform for user-generated content. So it allows anyone, whether you are a professional creator or a brand, or a casual creator or a gamer, to easily build and customize interoperable wearables that you can take into open metaverse, you can take into traditional games, and you can also redeem physical versions of.
Okay.
So I saw a term, I'm going to steal it. You could feel free to use it going forward. Phygital.
Please, never, don't use that word around me.
That's amazing.
I'm leaving.
Please explain why we've angered you.
It's just, isn't it just the most horrible mashup word you've ever heard?
Physical, fungible,
digital.
It's just digital.
The reason that it's still in circulation is we don't have a better word yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like anybody that is in or adjacent to the Web3 fashion space, it's just like a running meme at this point. Everybody just like winces at the word digital.
Digital. I saw that and I was laughing, but
I like that you brought it up. I love that.
Well, I had to, right?
It's important. I feel more strongly about digital than I do about Crocs. That's saying something.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. So when we were talking about this, we were like, man, this is end to end here. Like we were trying to think of like the user story, when they're looking at Rstlss and thinking about the platform. And it's like, okay, the user story allows someone to potentially sell something physically, make something digitally that has ownership, that can be ported into one of these spaces, spaces being metaverses or games. And are these all GameFi, as in like blockchain style games? Or like, when we talk about gaming here, are you exclusive to Web3 style games or whatnot?
No. So we're a Web3 company. We want to be part of building a standard for open metaverse. But in terms of adoption, there are many more daily active users within traditional games. So being able to integrate with something like UEFN, which is like Epic's newly launched initiative where you can start building in like Fortnite environment.
Yeah, they just introduced that.
Yeah. With Roblox, we've just soft announced, by the time this comes out, we will fully announced our partnership with Activision Blizzard, working across some of their IPs,
awesome.
and working with most of the big game developers that you can name. We're progressively working with over the next sort of 18 months. So that's a real focus for us, getting those integrations, and where we have wearables that go into these games, like it's not as open and fluid as working with open metaverse. There's a lot more like moderation, regulation, and it is much more traditional. But all of these developers, they understand where things are moving. They have a lot of IPs right now that will never be open in terms of like letting any asset in or out, but they will be building Web3 native IP over the coming years. So, they know it's happening. They want to be able to get involved in some way. I think one of the biggest difficulties right now is that the sort of traditional player base for traditional gaming industry is still very anti NFTs and blockchain, to the point where it doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just like a meme reaction to hearing any of the jargon. So there's a lot of work we need to do to, like, I guess, rebrand, abstract away from the tech, and just speak to, like, you're already spending all of this money in game. How about it has actual real world value? Whether that's monetary value or whether that's value to your digital identity that you can take it elsewhere and have ownership. NFTs make more sense for gamers than almost any other audience.
100%. I've been saying that for a while on this podcast, where it's like, you already got Call of Duty, you got Fortnite doing all these microtransactions. It's like, literally, you just got to take the game and have the blockchain and just meet in the middle, and it's already there. It's just adding the blockchain aspect to it.
Exactly. So it'll get there, and we're banking on that as well. And it's why we are doing things in a slightly more complicated way to make sure that we have these integrations, as well as open metaverse, which is comparatively a joy to build integrations with.
Okay, there's a bunch of different directions we can take this. That one of the things I've actually always wondered is, and I don't know how much you can comment on this, how are the game companies, and I know you mentioned developers and they're aware of what's happening, but are the gaming companies, are they like, just, we don't care about that blockchain behind the scenes stuff, just tell us how we can integrate it? Are they like, deeply into it, trying to understand the foundational parts of the blockchain and what it means? Like, and how is your company bridging the gap between what it is that they want and what it is that is possible?
They are, like, generally speaking, they're very much in deep. Most of them have whole teams employed that are specifically focused on Web3.
Awesome.
And there is, I guess, relative to other industries, because it makes so much sense for gaming, there is like a really deep understanding there. The challenge is that nobody wants to be a first mover. So everybody's making sure that they're ready to go, but is waiting for someone else to go first and take the majority of the flack that's going to happen. So, initially.
And the kickback from that huge gaming community that's going to be like, this is not, like, stay pure to games or whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we were talking with Newcast Sharon last two episodes ago. We were talking about, like, you want to invest in those people that are pushing boundaries and are going to make that first move and catch that flack, in a sense. You know what I mean?
For sure.
What's you obviously you have you think of Rstlss and out of wanting this end-to-end solution, and gaming is a huge part of this. What part of gaming or dealing with these companies did you think, we're going to talk to them about this, and then you realize all your conversations are now about something else? Are you finding that you're spending your time with your team building, or are you just explaining things? Or maybe I'm kind of keeping it even too simple, but what's the thing where you're just like, holy crap, didn't expect that this is what I'd be doing or facilitating for them?
Honestly, I think because we did a lot of work with traditional gaming industry through Charli Cohen brand over like the last 4 or 5 years, there hasn't really been anything unexpected there. The focus is, there is the tech piece, which is something to figure out, but the most important piece to the gaming companies is the positioning and how the story is told around it. So when you asked earlier about sort of bridging the gap, it's really how do you create something that feels completely authentic to the player base of any given game, and also completely authentic to a Web3 native audience. That's where I think we're pretty good at being able to build those stories and the assets around those stories, so that it's it appeals to both of those audiences.
Okay, that does seem like something that's completely necessary and very difficult. Yeah,
I think what's helpful is we have, especially our head of partnerships and creative for Rstlss, we have a lot of very hardcore gamers on the team,
Okay,
like
that's cool.
who have played all of the IPs that we're working with, know it all inside and out, know the developers inside and out, are participants in the traditional gaming audience as well as in the Web3 audience. So it's not that difficult. It's actually kind of natural when you have people who have a foot in both worlds that are designing the like creative and story.
That's awesome. Are you a gamer yourself?
I'm not a gamer aside from Tetris. I'm a fucking legend at Tetris. But
this is amazing. I did not expect that. It's like, what?
Oh, sailing on a boat. I mean, what kind of games you're really gonna get to play? With Tetris, that's a good
just
one.
Just cards with myself on the boat.
The funny thing is, I fucking love Tetris though. Like,
who doesn't?
On my phone. It's really common.
It's an amazing. Have you watched?
I was gonna bring
movie?
It up. The movie was amazing.
The movie was incredible.
Oh,
you got to get on that. You got to go on that.
Definitely.
This is amazing that both of you guys are just like, Devon, come on. Okay.
Come on.
I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. You're right.
Honestly, it was I really enjoyed it. I had no idea. Did you know any of that storyline before?
No, I mean, like very, very loosely. But no, I didn't know what to expect from the movie either. But it was really great.
Yeah, I was sitting at work one day and I was just like, I gotta watch that. I'm kind of bored. I shouldn't be saying that out loud, I guess. Working, but I was on some downtime and I was like, I'm gonna watch something. And I was like, Tetris. I'm like, how good could this be? And I was like, wow. At the end, I was like, it's an awesome story. You should watch it, Devon, for sure.
You know
this
what?
Weekend.
It's a holiday. This is Victoria Day or whatever it is. So yeah, let's do it. Cool. Okay. Where were we? Okay, you know what? Let's
go back to wrestling. Okay.
Well, I kind of want to ask a personal question.
Okay. Go ahead then. It's gonna be something simple.
It's gonna be simple. It's gonna be easy. What's your favorite color?
Favorite color? I mean, like I want to say black, but it's not a color,
right? Because you're on the industry side, so you have to wear black.
So I have to. Well, also I'm a like goth kid at heart, so I have to wear black. Aside from black, I kind of go through phases. I think for like the last few years, it's been what I would describe as cyber violet, if you can imagine that shade of purple.
Cool. That's cool. That's cyber actually violet. Dope. Violet or like purple is like my runner-up color. I think I usually change my favorite color every few years, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next one. So maybe I'll steal yours. Yeah. Okay.
You're welcome to it. It's a great color.
Okay. What, man? I'm being serious, man.
I love it.
I always think my second color is blue, and everyone's like, no, it's purple. I'm colorblind, so half of this stuff doesn't even matter to me. Okay, let's keep it going.
What's great about this podcast is, I mean, me and Devon have known each other. We grew up since I met him in like I was grade 6, grade 5. So we've been 20 plus years friends, and I always learn little tidbits about him as the episodes go on. I think what are we? Episode 92 now.
92.
Yeah.
Damn, getting to that century event.
I know we're trying to plan it. We're like, what are we gonna do? So I guess we got to figure out something.
I will figure it out. Okay, back to Rstlss because I do want to talk more about this thing. Ryan, you pick it up.
I was just gonna say, let's talk about Rstlss, and I guess you've done 3 collections or about to do a 3rd collection.
So we're about to do our 3rd collection, which this is coming out on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We were
24th. It's coming out.
We're gonna do a Wednesday drop for this one.
So all going well. This is drop day. For our Claire Silver collab, which will be the 3rd drop that we're doing. So the first drop we did was our closed beta at the end of last year, and that was with 10 amazing emerging artists from the community. And you could go in, customize a wearable with the art piece of your choice. The first public drop that we did was with Gremplin, an iconic legend, one of the, real founders of the CC0 movement as well. And so we did a Cryptodes collaboration. And then, this drop with Claire, obviously like a iconic artist, one of the sort of longest and most outspoken artists on collaborating with AI. And it's a really cool UX when you go in to mint this one. It's our first browser-based one. The first 2 we did on mobile only through our app. And there are various fun elements that I guess, echo the process of creating and collaborating with AI. The art that Claire has created for it is amazing. There are some like very cool wearable silhouettes in there. You get so like when you mint as your NFT, you have the the original art piece that Claire has created, and the wearable that it's applied to. You get a downloadable VRM with that that you can take into many different open metaverse spaces. Several of them have forgeable physicals that you can get. And yeah, with every drop that we've done and that we're doing, we're trying to raise the bar on production quality. And I mean, the team have just absolutely smashed it on this one. I'm so excited for these to start getting into people's hands.
Paps had shared with me the trailer.
The trailer.
I hadn't seen it. He had that was a fucking dope trailer. Did you end up watching it, Devon? He shared it like 5 minutes before we had come on. And
I was going to say, I'm like, why do I have no idea what's going on?
I sent it to you in our Twitter, and I forgot to tell you to watch it.
I can't watch it now. It's too late. How long is it?
I mean, you could 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
No,
yeah,
too long.
You could unmute and watch it.
But I need the whole.
You do need.
Yeah, that sucks.
That was it's like a little dog, and
I'm sorry, I was eating cereal at that time.
That's all right. I mean, I love cereal, and I can completely understand the prioritization there.
I'll check it.
Favorite cereal?
Yeah, the favorite cereal, Kellogg's Crunchy Nuts.
Ooh,
I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I.
It's very English. It's basically like the cornflake, but it's covered in like honey and bits of almond. I think
that actually sounds great. I would like this. That could be my favorite is Harvest Crunch.
Okay, that is a strong choice. And like I'm so it's very so I eat cereal dry. It's very important that you have a cereal that like works well dry, and Harvest Crunch definitely does.
It does, but it's like you gotta have strong gum health for that. Harvest Crunch will destroy your mouth. Like
you would just be bleeding.
Yeah, like if you're like, did I go to the dentist recently? Eat Harvest Crunch. If you're bleeding, you need to go to the dentist.
It's like I need to floss.
It's ridiculous, man. The cereal is like, it's good, but yeah. Anyways,
ironically, that's my go-to cereal too.
It's just great. Put that shit in yogurt. I mix Harvest Crunch with like regular cornflakes, and then this Kellogg's frosted or crunchy almond, whatever. Crunchy nuts, yeah. Whatever you said, and none of this madness. Just plain cornflakes and Harvest Crunch. There it is. There's your morning. Banana on the side. Yeah. Anyways, okay. What were we talking about?
Trailer. Back to the trailer.
The trailer.
Back to the trailer. So the little dog, Guardian. So Guardian is kind of a pivotal character. So Rstlss has a lot of lore that is progressively being built out with each drop that we do. So Guardian, this little Pomeranian, who is loosely based on my Pomeranian Suki, nice. Is kind of the overlord of the Rstlss ecosystem, mostly but benevolent, not always, and yeah, is a key feature in all of our marketing materials, and much more to come over the year.
I like it.
No, Devon, after this, you have to watch it.
I'm gonna go check it out.
I should actually just tweet it out now.
Tweet it out. Okay, while you're doing that, I'll ask my
right now.
Right now. So
right now, I'm tweeting it out.
One thing I always have thought about, and luckily, people don't even in casual conversation with non-Web3 people, IRL people, or whatever, they don't get to this level. But I've always thought about this being able to create a wearable and have it, I say portable, but being able to like load that into whether it's Roblox or like Decentraland or like some of the other metaverses. How is this VRM? How does this package work? Like, are you just aware of all the different protocols, and then you create them all and your package kicks them out, or is it doing something
exactly that? So right now, it is having like versions of an asset that are tailored to each game engine, each like set of avatar proportions, each standard. But alongside working towards, and this is something that really needs to happen much more like collectively within Web3, everybody trying to figure out together, because we're all doing all this like siloed stuff right now, but coming up with some kind of standard moving forward so that companies don't have to do that. But to be able to offer interoperability now, you have to build to every standard out there. And you have to, so when you're working with anything Web3 native where you can log in with Wallet Connect, that makes life easier. You log in and it pulls the right 3D file from the metadata. Anything that is outside of the Web3 ecosystem, you have to have some kind of custom integration.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess when it comes to having some sort of standard that we move towards, it often is the one that like expands the first, whoever creates the metaverse that is most readily used, likely becomes the standard that we get everyone.
That's exactly right. And I think it's what's really important. I was having this conversation with someone a couple of days ago, is that we want people who are building natively within Web3 to create this standard, not an existing giant corporation in gaming. And I think where we do fall down a bit in this community is not talking to each other enough. Like, there are lots of people and companies building to solve the same problem, and nobody's talking about it together. And there just needs to be a lot more pooling of resources if there's any chance of, really creating something that outperforms and is done at a faster pace than the, multi-billion corporations out there who are potentially building for the same thing.
Since you're building for a bunch of them, which ones do you like? Like, I'm sure that you're like, oh, we're going to spin up the version for this metaverse, or even from a programmatically standpoint, but maybe just in terms of like how because I'm sure when you're designing and when you're thinking about the wearable, it's fashion, it's art, right? And I'm sure that as you look at some of them rendered in different environments, there's some that you're like, I like this. What do you like?
So, I mean, I think probably for, most people who are creating like digital game assets, you like Unreal Engine 5 is a beautiful engine to be able to build into. Most of the so as we're building out the Rstlss platform, ultimately it will all sit within a UE5 environment. So the creator tools are sat within that experience. But yeah, it's just, incredible, the lighting, the simulation that you can get. It's really amazing.
Reflections.
But it is also quite, exactly. It's really sick, but it is also fun creating for like more stylized, more cartoony type environments as well. I like the challenge of like, okay, how do you take a silhouette into something like a Roblox and make it really iconic and recognizable. So I think, everything has its pros and cons.
No, I'll agree with that. Ryan, can I ask you to do something on the fly if possible? Do you think you could I was actually looking for this. Oh, never mind. I have it. Never mind. I was just to kind of a point here. Yeah, I know you're like, great.
Job well done.
That conversation. Shut up.
I was just saying, my kid plays Roblox, so I'd love to be seeing some Rstlss stuff there.
Well, I mean, in a couple of months' time, you will be.
Perfect.
I love it. So, Charli, Ryan, I just dropped our updated logo in the chat.
Oh,
yeah.
And like, you're right there, what you mentioned about the challenge and kind of change of designing something for a different medium, right? Like the Roblox. And Ryan had reached out to some artists and got this done for us.
Yes.
Love this.
Completely different style. You can kind of see in the background of our Zoom thing, our previous logo style, which is totally 3D. I don't have that file like right now, but I've always loved that one, especially since my avatar literally is from an NFT project on the Cardano blockchain called Juke Boys. and that's like one of their avatars. And I looked at it and I was just like, are these guys fucking serious? Like, do they know me? Like, I looked at it, I was like, this is me. So I obviously bought it, and it's never being sold. But you know, getting this kind of pixelated, I was just like, why do I love this with the same level of intensity? It's just fun, you know? So yeah, definitely different mediums kind of creates a different love for it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, to be able to be a good pixel artist is really
Yeah.
difficult. Like to
Yeah.
be able to get a recognizable representation of something in pixel art is like it's a huge skill. And yeah, this is so cool. Big fan.
Shout out to freaking Mike from the Shack and Project Venkman. He had reached out, and I saw his avatar and I was like, oh, can you keep doing that for us? I wanted, because you can kind of brand that, right? For us, it's like before it was our faces. It was like, I don't want to have like a t-shirt.
Yeah, it was our
face on it. It was our
this
actual.
is actually the third version of our thing, actually, when you think about it.
The second one was kind of like, let's promote some NFT projects that we like. So we have it in our backgrounds and our logo. And then this time around, I was like, well, what happens if we wanted to branch out and kind of brand ourselves? We could use pixelated characters, right? So shout out to him for hooking me up with it. And yeah.
Also, Charlie, isn't it interesting how Ryan thought that he looked like this gold character?
I didn't look like the gold. What's even better is that you can tell you're colorblind because he's green.
Oh, he's green? Oh, let's get the hell out of here. All right,
gold.
We've been on this before, actually. You're totally right. I think you told me that he wasn't gold before, and I was like, this is gold. Oh, yes. Man.
No, that was a gifted NFT to me from one of our Toronto-based friends.
Okay.
He's got Ugly
It's really
Bros.
Cool. It's really cool.
I thought that you thought that was you. Sorry.
Actually, you probably really like Ugly Bros. It's very like colorful and 3D art and stuff. It's really a cool project.
Beautiful project.
Cardano. Yeah.
I will check it out.
Yeah. Oh, you're don't worry, we can give you all the Cardano projects to check out.
Yeah, just drop it all in the DMs.
They're full on memes coin season over there right now.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's kind of wild. We're having our it's like we follow the major Ethereum trends.
Yeah, now
a smaller
now
degree a little bit later. Yeah,
kicking us elsewhere.
We're just like, yeah, they did this shitty thing. Let's do it.
Charlie, you didn't invest in PsyOps?
I didn't invest in PsyOps. No, that's been quite the ride. I've been dipping in and out of observing it from the sidelines. And
it's been fun to watch. I was like, I'm not partaking in any of it. I don't have the gut to
I have
do
no comment on that. It makes me mad. It makes me so angry. It's so stupid. So okay, maybe actually I'm totally open to hearing a little bit more about Claire Silver. How would you describe, like, I've
never heard of her until I saw the collab happen up.
Yeah.
What about you, Devon?
No, neither I, but like AI art and AI in general, we were kind of hoping to steer the conversation in that direction, and how you're thinking of integrating and leveraging and using AI. Like, what are some of the things that you think about when you see the technologies and what's happening with artwork? I
mean, looking at like AI generally, the most important thing for us is, you know, we're building out UGC creator tooling, and we need to be constantly thinking about how we're implementing new tech into that. And, you know, with AI being an obvious one, we're building all this stuff right now. If we're not figuring out how we immediately start like developing with AI, then by the end of this year, we're going to be 10 years behind.
Right. Yeah.
So that, like, just in terms of what it can do behind the scenes, right? That the end experience, you're not even aware that AI is involved.
Right.
So that's, you know, that I think is most important right now for Rstlss and how we're thinking about it. And then I guess like the end tooling as well. You know, how do you create AI based tools that allows different types of creators to work in different ways? I think what's been so incredible with this movement is it's really challenging the definition of what an artist is.
Right.
And you have you know, all of these incredibly creative people, and like humans are fundamentally creative. If you know, up until recently, if you couldn't draw to some extent, very difficult to be able to express that. And AI um, allows you to start visualizing concepts that you wouldn't be able to do by putting pencil to paper, which is really cool. Like, I'm not great at drawing. I've been using AI to help conceptualize stuff, and it's aside from the fact that it just helps speed up the process, it's also just really rewarding, because it's not just the machine doing stuff for you. It is a collaboration. You're going through so many iterations of a piece before you end up with this final thing. And it's just this very different way of working, which is allowing so many more people to be able to explore this creative part of themselves, which is only ever a good thing for people.
100%. I actually have a family member that she writes, she uses her two daughters and she writes children's stories, and she has these characters based around it. And she's actually turned to AI to create, I think they're dragons. Her one book that she's doing is she's using AI to do the dragons artwork and even do like the layout of how the book should look. She's like using it. So I mean, and she doesn't. And I said you could do it yourself and try and release it as a NFT and get out there for children's books. But people, yeah, it's given a lot of people chances to do something creative themselves.
It really has. And I know that a lot of traditional artists and photographers feel very threatened by it, which is really understandable, right? And like new tech like this is always very scary when it comes in, but it doesn't take away the value of something being done entirely by a human. It means that that's now just something you think about when you're looking at art,
Right.
and it's a different category. It's not taking anything away from the skill of being able to draw, paint, compose a photo. It's just a different medium.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was listening to Colin and Samir's podcast, and they had Deep Tom Cruise on. You guys like see Deep
Like
Tom Cruise?
The deep fake Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
No, I've never
That
seen
guy's
it.
amazing. But he was talking about going back and reading some archival news, and he was reading something, I think in the Atlantic or something, where they did an op-ed on the camera photography, and it was just like, and they were like, creativity is done, art is destroyed, and they were just like, the camera now captures the world exactly as is. Where's the room for the interpretation of the painter? This is an abomination to painters, and and it was just like completely nothing. And I think look what photography has become, and there's no way that AI is going to do anything but just that. Every new technology, every new everything, everyone kind of approaches it the same way. We're just going to see integrations upon integrations upon integrations, and we're going to be able to experience art and different things in ways that we literally, of course, can't imagine. And I like what you said when you're like, if we don't do it now, by the end of the year, we'll be 10 years behind.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's inevitable. It doesn't matter if you hate
kind of
it.
crazy.
Like you either adapt to it, or you pretend it's not there, and maybe it does phase out your relevance. Like it's unstoppable.
Yeah. No, agreed. Agreed. Okay. I have a couple questions here. Ryan, was there anything really? Okay.
No, I just shared in the chat. I just shared there was a project that just minted on Cardano called Unleash Beasts, and they used it was all AI generated like monsters, and there's like it was such a broad spectrum of different, like they all had little characters and stuff. But it was
these are cool.
Yeah, it just made me think of like we were on the topic. So I was
Ryan,
like,
you minted all these? I didn't know that. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, we could say we minted them. That's fine.
Oh, this is our purse.
Yeah. Stop saying purse. It's a set.
Why? That's what it's called. We have a shared wallet. We have our own wallets, our own lives, but because of our relationship together, professionally and personally, we also have a purse that we put our money into, and that's where we, make things better for our future, babe. All right, cool.
Love that.
So when it comes to this, is a little bit of I don't know if it's a controversial question. How do you feel about AR? Do you feel that at any level it had let you down at all in terms of adoption and or widespreadness? I feel like when I first heard about AR, I was like, and saw images of it, and augmented reality, and or also like the one where you'll put something on a desk and I was like, this is mind blowing. It's crazy. And then found that it never entered my personal life and operations. I was just wondering and to a lot of people, AR, they're like, yeah, it's still figuring itself out. What
I
do you
think it's
feel
just
about
like
AR?
it's kind of understanding that um, AR is still at the kind of finger painting stage
Like
of
beta.
art, right? We're such a way off being able to have the level of fidelity and the level of tracking, especially like full body tracking, that makes the experience of AR feel properly integrated into the world rather than just this kind of janky layer on top of it. So I think AR is extremely exciting. But yeah, it's still really, really early days. And like honestly, all of what feels like rapid progress in AI, again, that's been years and years and years in the making. It's just we're seeing a lot more commercial application now that will speed up the process of having higher fidelity AR and better body tracking as well.
Right. Of course.
And I think for fashion, it's really important. I'm honestly not a huge fan of full AR wearables, and especially right now, whilst the body tracking is still, not incredible. But also, I think that it's kind of hard to justify selling a filter if you're building a business around it. But I think in the way that we've used AR as well since I guess 2019 we started like really playing around with it like this, is where you can use it as a layer on top of garments. So I guess for example we did this collaboration with Assassin's Creed in 2019, where when you scan the graphic on the front, it unlocks a pair of wings, and this kind of experience that came from Assassin's Creed Valhalla into the AR lens. And it's not placing a shirt on you, but it's kind of adding this extra layer of experience that puts you in the lore of the game. And I think there's lots of cool applications like that where AR is triggered by and then interacts with what you're wearing to give it another layer of experience. So that's how I like to use it. And yeah, very, very excited to see more progress being made as well. But again, like it's already improved an incredible deal in like the last 2 or 3 years.
It's true.
Snapchat is an investor in Charli Cohen brand. I did a 3-month accelerator with them at the beginning of 2020 and just got to see like all of the stuff that they were working on. And that was really when they just about figured out body tracking. They're still kind of way ahead on body tracking relative to most everyone else. But yeah, it's an incredible technology. We're just seeing it not at its peak yet.
Okay, that's cool. No, that's how someone on the outside thinks, Ryan. And that's why we talk to the experts here.
It made me remember. Have you ever met or do you know Supermassive? Robin from
yes, I did a podcast with Robin, I think last year.
Yeah, he's awesome. We had him on not too long ago, but he just released a video. I think it was through the Base AF YouTube, talking about how AR could potentially be one of the next versions of like the metaverse. Like they'll use AR as a metaverse. So it just made me think of that. But
right, yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, that was one of my questions too later on. I wanted to ask if you had met or knew who Supermassive was, because I feel like you guys would have, because they're all about kind of like the metaverse content creator, and I feel like
we had a great chat.
Yeah, I feel like Rstlss and you guys would be like, and Base of AF would be a good kind of collab.
I love that guy. Was
down the
awesome.
line. Yeah.
Our podcast with him was smart. So funny, man. Like mid podcast, he's just takeaways here. He like on the podcast during video, he's just like, hold on, guys. Goes to the door. He's like, yeah, thanks, no problem. Like we're just like, yes. Like, what'd you get? Like it was amazing. Such a good podcast. Okay, Ryan, where were you going
I wasn't going anywhere. I was just listening to YouTube chat. I got a front row seat to it. So
okay, I have is your watch on your left wrist or your right wrist? Or your left wrist? Is it on the left? Oh,
no watch.
No watch. Okay.
No watch. No watch.
It's AR'd in her eye. She knows she doesn't have to look anywhere.
Looks like it just like beams.
Yeah. It's actually, no, I'm very, very old school. I just look at where the sun is in the sky and
she's a sundial out front of her flat.
Yeah, exactly. who doesn't?
Okay. I like that.
There's so many like random.
We're gonna leave that. We're gonna rapid fire through some other things because there's a whole nother side of things that I think is not bad to touch on. Okay. Universal trait that you look for when you're hiring. You've built teams, you've been able to amass success and collaborations. There's no doubt that you're recognized as Forbes 30 under 30. You've definitely got some chops here for building businesses, for understanding people, for knowing what to do, and then for also assembling the right team. What's something you look for in a person, quality-wise, that you're just like, this needs to be what on my team to help achieve the vision?
I think like relentless enthusiasm, because you can't give somebody that, right? You can teach somebody most anything, but for them to be as passionate and excited as you have to be in the fucking grind that startup life is.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You need that fundamental like excitement about what we're building.
Nice.
That makes sense. You don't want to be watching them drag their feet and you're like, okay, like
no, it entirely.
You really don't. You
don't have time to be sitting there trying to motivate. So, like, you got to be passionate. That's for sure. That makes sense
because it's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. It's training. It's hard more of the time than you're like getting those wins. But if you know and feel like the legacy that you're creating with what you're doing, then like that just keeps you going through everything.
That's awesome. I guess what founders do you look up to? Is there founders, I guess, in the tech or fashion or wherever? Like, what kind of what's a founder that you would look up to?
I mean, I know this at this point is a controversial opinion, but like I'm a big fan of Elon.
Yes, I was going to bring that.
I feel like everybody in tech is, even if they're not as vocal about it now. But I think that willingness to like fail publicly and dramatically in order to try doing the huge, ridiculous, crazy things is amazing. And as much as I don't think it's great for any single person to hold as much power as he does, it does feel like everything there is like an outlook towards like how is this impacting the world rather than how is this putting more billions in my pocket.
Agreed. Yeah. And even I'm a big fan of Elon too. Even the statement he put out about like, I'm selling my houses. I don't own property. I don't need it. I'm just going to rent. I need to be lean. I need to move around. It's like, it really, you're not looking, Elon's not like, I'm doing this for the million. Like, he's like, these are the goals. We got to get to Mars. We've got electric vehicles, like the bigger plans that we don't seem to think we can tackle. That's what it's about. And I don't care what he says or does online. I don't truly know him, even if I think I do from what he's saying. He can be a bit of a troll sometimes, but I can't see myself not doing the exact same thing. Amplify my personality by a couple mil and then throw some billies on there. And like this guy, like only because Ryan's known me for 20 years is the only reason he'll still talk to me. Thank God I have a decent heart, but whatever. So like, I don't know him and I'm fine with that. I reserve any judgment on his actual character because I don't know it. So, but you can't look past what this man has accomplished, man. Like this, it's insane. It really is. Cool. We endorse that. You're cool. You're cool.
It's true though, but like that whole, I think, selling of his assets and stuff, wasn't that all based on people just talking shit to him on Twitter about you've got all this stuff, and he's like, okay, I'm selling it. It's just like the same way he bought Twitter. Someone talked shit to him. He's just like, whatever.
Also, the whole Boca Chica there's another initiative where he's building like superbly sustainable houses. Like
Mhm.
truck pops up, drops it down, house, solar roof, or Tesla roof, Tesla power, um, the
Didn't
internet
he,
thing, and
didn't
like
he
it's like
build like a battery tower in Africa or something in like
he's always been
6
doing that.
months? Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's like
Someone challenged him, and he's
in
like, okay,
infrastructure that can give you everything you need, and now this the structure, and now the dwelling. You got the all powered by the sun.
yeah.
Like, wasn't this the plan that everyone was like not possible? And he's just like, you can't. I don't know. I can't argue with that. Anyways, we're all like fanning out, getting all passionate and stuff. All right. I have a basic question here. Do you know Alice in Wonderland? And can you tell her that I like her music and that also I am single and I will move to wherever she wants to be?
I very lightly
And yeah,
know Alice in
just
Wonderland,
just
and
putting the plug out there.
the reason that I first became aware of Alice in Wonderland was because I was in Tokyo and somebody thought I was her, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to look
Kind of
up
crazy.
this
Yeah,
artist.
I kind of see that.
It's because I'm just like wandering around wearing like an oversized t-shirt and socks and with pink hair.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, we've given her some clothes over the years.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I mean, I think she's happily in a relationship and heavily pregnant right now. But if that does change,
Ask her if she remembers me from the Toronto show. Either way, I'm happy for her. I am. Maybe we could do this in the metaverse. Like it's a whole different world. I'm fine. I'll be out there. Just let her know. Okay.
And she's a fan of the metaverse. I mean, she did actually pretty
yeah.
cool projects that in 2020, like in peak bull market.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to clear that one ridiculous question.
Check.
Check.
So stupid.
Oh yeah, Ryan. Okay, this next question's for you. You can drop that question.
I'm not even going to.
Charli,
tell me.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Oh god, that's a very difficult question.
Not cereal.
I don't know if I can really pick a favorite. Up there definitely is rhubarb crumble and custard, which is a very British dessert.
Ooh,
I think I've had that.
I would like that, like a rhubarb crumble, like that's a pie thing, right? Like
yeah. So instead of pie, it's like it's the pastry is crumbled and
no,
it's the texture.
Like that.
You know what it's comparable to, Devon? Because my wife's grandparents were English and made that stuff. It's like the apple crumble my wife makes, but
I love that stuff. I'm a fan of like pies in general, like peach pie, strawberry rhubarb.
Like what's his name from Forrest Gump? Fried shrimp.
And you know what? Also have me some date squares too, man. Like love my date squares.
Very nice. Very
date
nice.
Squares are so good. Anyways, okay. Right. What are we talking about? Okay, lastly
food.
Food, food. Like always. Like cereal.
Do you have custard? So that you're talking about like the custard, like I grew up eating custard and oat porridge and all that stuff. So that you're talking about like the custard powder, the yellowy, like the custard, like
yeah.
Okay. What other kind of custards are there?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure I understand it. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff over
there. You can the best custard is like made with like without the powder, with like egg yolks and stuff.
Right. The real stuff.
I'm here for the custard with the powder by all means.
Custard is
stir it up. I don't even make I'm so bad. Like I'm making the pancakes where you don't even have to add milk. Just add water. Hey, ain't nobody got time to add milk, okay?
Do you cook ever? Charli? Like do you have a favorite meal you would like to cook?
I am a very lazy cook. So anything that I can compile using raw ingredients is my preferred method of cooking.
She doesn't even put milk in her cereal.
She
doesn't even eat it from a bowl, just pours it into her hand.
It's a bit of me that I'm just like, like my favorite meal is just like the box of cereal.
There you go. That's it.
So I'm actually quite good at baking. But I haven't been doing much of that in recent years.
Well, that makes sense. You're a little busy.
And it's just laziness, and I will just buy like smoked salmon. which is delicious, and I don't have to do anything to
There
it
you go.
except eat
Exactly.
it.
I'm lazy too. I'm just like frozen burgers, throw them on. I don't even make my own burgers. I'll just buy them frozen. And
All
You're
good.
still cooking it though, so
I guess.
fair play to you.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
I love it. Okay. Next question. What do you wear? I was like, do I ask who do I wear? Is that like, she's not that kind of designer. I'm like, what? Like,
Sounds like a Hollywood question. Who
yeah.
are you wearing?
Who are you wearing, Charli?
Who are you wearing?
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, Charli.
I mostly wear like band t-shirts.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wear jeans. I wear like, I guess, so most of what I design is tech wear. So it's like sports performance fabrics, but I guess slightly more like Japanese cyberpunky type silhouettes, so that kind of thing. I wear quite a lot of vintage. But yeah, the consistent thing I wear is band t-shirts.
I like it. I'm okay with it.
I was saying to Devon, it seemed in like images that I saw, it was kind of like Billie Eilish style, or she stole your style.
Yeah, where it was like Billie Eilish kind of circa. I think she's had another style evolution.
Yes,
that kind of vibe, and also Alice in Wonderland, which is why I got stopped.
Right, it's true.
So
I feel like I would evolve to like
really.
Japanese tech wear, and like my luggage is getting more tech and different fabrics and fedora, whatever. But like I feel like I don't know, some of those Japanese streetwear pants, they just look really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's like
they're functional.
Always a great silhouette. Yeah. Where you have this like it kind of like widens out and then tapers back in again.
Yeah. So we'll see.
That's why I love you, man. You're so like you're all over the map. I love it.
Oh man, I'm never. I don't know. I'm never gonna grow up.
You're like a nomad. You're just all over the place. But like,
yeah, that too. Okay. I feel like we've covered a lot of things. I still feel like we haven't covered a lot of things, but like being respectful of everybody's time here. Charli, are there any questions you have for us? Are there? Like,
you mean aside from favorite cereal? Favorite color.
Yeah. Sure. You know us.
Favorite chain that isn't Cardano.
Good question.
That is good. I would have to say for me it would be Kusama.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It has like it involves like the Remark protocol and all those. Do you know about Remark at all?
No,
Charli?
I don't. Tell me.
NFTs.
She also has concepts that like kind of lead right into it.
Yeah, that's what Paps was saying.
Her bundled NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was gonna say Remark protocol. Basically, NFTs can own other NFTs. So
okay, cool.
And how else would you explain it? I just
no, you're right.
A couple episodes on
that's
it,
exactly right. And I was thinking about it. It's kind of, I'm glad you brought this up. Good question, Charli, because this brings us to a question we forgot to write down and ask you about. When talking about like the bundles, and it's like the bundles can like power up and whatever with the experience and interaction. But then if you sell one aspect, everything comes with it, right? So you have everything tied into the parent NFT. The parent NFT, right? So that is just that parent NFT being connected to them in one contract or one order or whatnot. They move together as a unit, right? Like the ownership is implied based on the character they're being added to, or however else, whatever it is, whether it's a character or whatever in-game asset or however it's bundled for whatever logical sense that it makes. But imagine you now had the parent NFT actually owning the shirt. And we'll describe it as someone wearing clothes. So you have the parent NFT, which is the shirt, and maybe the shirt owns the pants, and the pants own the shoes, and the shirt also owns the gloves, and the shirt owns the hat. And if you wanted to sell the gloves independently of the shirt, you could, I guess, orphan them. Using words here. It's right. I'm happy.
Go ahead, keep going.
You could orphan the gloves from the shirt.
It's pretty good.
And sell them as an individual NFT. But essentially, they're actually owned in a smart contract protocol style, which is called the Remark protocol. And when you have NFT ownership, this transitions on beyond wearables to the point where you have you have NFTs that is a billboard that is owning an advertisement that's on the billboard that has a royalty flow of maybe some proprietary mint token going back between the two of them. And there's a lot of different verticals and like you can expand on this concept when you have an NFT that owns another NFT in a very same way as like a wallet owning an NFT. And when you expand on that, it's like, whoa, what can we do there?
There's so much, because it's like open source, because you could push, say you have a Bored Ape and they did the mutation. You could just push that as a resource to the NFT, and the user has to accept the change.
Right.
Only the owner of the policy could actually make the change, but you accept it and it just changes the whole NFT to something different. So
and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it does show the mechanics of how it happens. But yeah, your NFT is living. And I think some of
it's always open, right?
Some of the possibility here is that the contract has a large window. What did he say it was? Like 60 years or something? I can't remember.
I don't even think they have smart. That's the EVM side of it. The smart
contracts, okay.
Right? Because it was just a protocol, so it does not tie into a. But it's you had a blank sheet of music. You could send it off to 5 different people. They can all add to it, and then when it gets back to you, it's a full song, and everybody, when you sell it, everyone gets their royalties on that sale.
Built into the protocol.
Built into everything.
So this protocol, the Remark protocol, was sitting on the Kusama blockchain with the Signal blockchain for, I don't want to say it wrong. I always mix the two of them. Polkadot. I always mix it up between Polkadot and, now I don't even know the other
Don't
one.
worry, Paps will correct us all anyways.
He will in our chat later on. But essentially, that's just one of they're EVMing it, moving it to Polygon, and kind of looking at how this can be something. I don't know. It might be something that makes sense to you.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting.
Secretly in line, because some of what you're talking about, wearables and the ownership, is part of one of the use cases they were thinking about for it. It's gaining some traction, but it's hella technical. But it's very, very cool in concept.
Yeah. And it's EVM compatible, and it's coming.
Yeah. And it's soon. Further along that it's developed. Anyways, good. Wow, Charlie, good question. Wow. So how long have you been doing your podcast?
How long have I been doing my podcast? It's about 6 minutes.
Awesome.
Knocked it out of the park already. See,
awesome.
A natural.
Okay, well, Ryan, do you have anything else?
I mean, we could keep going, but what else is there? Vaughn has a question. Was it you that wrote this? When are you coming back to Toronto?
I've never been to Toronto.
I don't even know if she's been to Toronto. I just assumed.
Which is I mean, why? So I obviously need to come to Toronto.
Yeah, of course.
It's a cool place. There's a lot of crypto stuff happening here.
Actually, what's your favorite destination to travel to?
Tokyo.
Nice.
Which is my spiritual home. But outside of Tokyo, my favorite place I've ever been is Ecuador.
Oh, cool.
Really?
Which is quite different to Tokyo.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, oh, surprise. Okay. Haven't been to Ecuador, been to Seoul. That was a mind blow. Singapore, mind blow, but other spots too. I don't know. Charlie, this has been crazy.
It's been really fun. I've also really enjoyed the randomness of the questions.
Okay, so, I was going to say, I want to thank you for
that.
Taking that ride with us. We like to switch things up here. Hope everybody's enjoyed their tea so far.
Oh, the tea, yeah.
Oh, here, I got Coke 7-Up Zero sugar.
Oh, it's all good. What would you like to communicate to our listeners here, if they're listening and they've made it through all the calamity that was this cavalcade of a conversation? What would you like? What's the call to action? What do you want them to know about you, about Rstlss, about Charli Cohen, the brand?
I think best place to where everything is consolidated is on my Twitter, which is at Charli Cohen, and you can also just see me write shit posts rather than just saying it on a podcast. But also there's details of things that we're doing that are quite cool that are mixed in with that. So I'd say that's the spot where everything is. Nice.
Dope. Well, with that, everybody, that was our conversation. Charli Cohen. NFGs.
We out.
Yeah. Ah, you bastard. You didn't want to say it. You're trying to mess with me. All right, cool. Let's stop.